I got a question from Andrew. Now, Andrew takes us back into the dark ages. He says, after watching your podcast 225, I thought you would like some feedback on your 10,000 swing program that I did back to back over a couple of months. I really liked it. It is simple, and I think it's the best way about it is I may have made a mistake doing it twice, though as my wrist got a little tight, all stretched out from doing handstands and the easy strength the martial arts advice. I had tremendous results from doing the 10K with 24 kilos. I was doing low carb at the time and dropped 40 pounds and 10 inches off your waist. Andrew, okay, so first off, everybody, salute to you, Andrew. So you dropped 40 pounds and lost 10 inches off your waist by doing 500 swings a day with the 24K and low carbing. Now, he then says probably more due to diet and water retention problem than I thought, what he was having during the program. I'm trying to remember what else I was doing. Long daily walks at a high pace come to mind, about an hour. The chosen big lifts were your typical barbell compound lifts and chin-ups. I got to tell you, I thought, so that article, I wrote that article living here. I know that. So I think that article's 10 years old. And I remember being on that deck talking to the publisher and the editors at Testosterone about doing it, which I didn't think was a good idea. So obviously I did it. And so it's about 10 years old. When it first came out, there was a lot of pushback against it. People didn't like it, but it really has taken on a kind of a life of its own. And I'm very proud to be part of that. I've heard a lot of good results on this program, and a lot, Andrew, but I think there's a couple things about your insights. Now, I would say this long term. Now, I love the 10,000 swing program. I think you're smart doing a low carb diet with it. I think it was smart because we know that in the short term, low carb is the most, in the short term, low carb is the best, on your marks, get set, go. Low carb is the best sprint out of the blocks. With, of course, with adherence, all diets work the exact same in about 2 years. There was a little phrase there, with adherence, and nobody does it. The other thing you also mentioned was that you were also doing some chin-ups and long walks and stuff like that. But what I want you to make sure you hear is the combination. Now, if you're be like Andrew. If you're like Andrew and you've lost a lot of weight doing low carb, 500 swings a day, lots of other stuff, good for you. Now your job is to maintain. Frankly, if I were you, Andrew, I would slide over to something, since you're walking already, maybe try one of the easy strength for fat loss variations and try that. It's a little bit easier. I would even dump the swings, do the standard, the 3 verticals. So that's a press, a pull-up, a deadlift, ab wheel, suitcase carry, go for a walk. And then just see what happens with your body mass, with maybe even do a 2, 3, 4 week trial with that, and to see if you can kind of get yourself to maintain at a much lower level of, I was going to say stress, but that's not what I mean. If you're doing 500 swings a day, there's a thing. If you're doing low carb, there's that thing. If you're doing all the extra walks, there's that thing. So easing off kind of emotionally, mentally, all the leads, if you will, and maintaining might be a real good option for you long term to make sure you're keeping those body mass changes and preparing yourself for something harder downstream a few months from now. Good question. Good question.